Ferris and Luca must have been waiting. They ran over as soon as they saw us. Ferris jumped at me without the slightest hesitation. She was a maid, and Ferris wasn't her real name. I knew her real name, but if I didn't call her Ferris at all times, even when she wasn't working, she'd get mad at me. She was wearing the same outfit she always wore, her work clothes from her day job, or from job at the maid cafe May Queen Yan squared. Was May Queen going to switch to Santa outfit soon? The real question is everyone asking. I tried to pull Ferris off me, but it wasn't working. They've switched between spelling it with Ferris with an A and with an E, which is kind of weird. Someone goofed. Maybe I should just steal the cat ears off her head, not cut them off. My dark past. Ferris looked upset, but I decided to ignore her. Kyoma Hoenn was part of the past. I had sealed away. I decided to pretend he never existed. He had meddled with the forbidden invention called the Time Machine, and as a result, the systems that ruled the world had punished him. He dashed the hopes of many, lost the life of someone he cared for, and his heart has suffered grievous wounds. He must never be awakened again. I didn't need him anymore. He'll come back out sometime in this game, probably. Because that's gonna happen. The way you're basically describing that now, it's like, okay, at some point I'll have to be like, all right, I gotta assume this role again. It's only when Mayuri says it that they say it with an E for some reason. Is it just because of the way she pronounces it? That's weird. Okay, well, here we go. By the way, Ferris is what Mayuri calls Ferris. She claimed it was easy to pronounce or something like that. Thanks, game. At least know now you're not, like, just horribly mispronouncing things or mistyping things, I should say. She looked unsatisfied, but she backed away. Lukako smiled happily. He always looks as beautiful as a pretty girl. But he's a guy. He was a classmate of Mayuri's and could often be seen helping at the Yanabayashi shrine where his family lived. I probably shouldn't call him Lukako, just like I told Ferris not to call me Kyoma. He had his own name, Luka Urashibara. But calling Lukako Luka after all this time, that would be really embarrassing. Even after that was done, I had been busy with Maho and Dr. Leskinen, and then Amadeus. I haven't had a chance to rest. But I avoided mentioning that to them. A club. Who do you guys think I am? I guess I hadn't told them then. Mayuri, I'm pretty sure I told her. As the two of them looked at me with wide eyes, I cracked a knowing smile and puffed out my chest. Alright, that's an actual club. The people around us all turned to stare at Ferris and Luca. But now Steins Gate becomes the plot of Baby Steps? This is all just going to become a tennis sports game. I may not look it, but I'm terrible at sports. I'm confident I'd lose to Mayuri at distance running.
話せば長くなるんだが、大学のゼミの准教授がテニスサークルの顧問なんだ。それで勧誘された。
一つも長くないにゃ。
聞けって。相手は一応世話になってる人だし、サークルに顔を出してみたんだ。そうしたら、なんと俺にはテニスの才能があるらしくてな。初心者にもかかわらず会員相手に連戦連勝だったんだ。どうだ、大したもんだろ。
岡部さんってやっぱりすごいです。
こんなことならプロテニスプレイヤーを目指しておけばよかったかな。
目指せウィンブルドンだね。
I mean, I guess Wimbledon may not be a copyrighted thing, but then again, you could probably say it without showing, like, you know, trademarked imagery and stuff. Kind of like how Root Letter talks about Jim Beam in, like, an actual alcoholic drink that, or whatever that would be, like, that they actually make. But they didn't show it, so I guess that's okay. I don't know. Copyright laws are fucking weird.
どうしたフェイリス？頭でも痛いのか？
どこからどう突っ込めばいいのやら。どう考えてもサークルの会員数を増やすための罠じゃないかにゃ。
いや、はっきり言うなよ。俺もうすうすそうじゃないかと思ってたけど、考えないようにしてるんだから。でもみんないい人ばっかりなんだぞ。
じゃあサークルの練習が忙しいんですね。
いや、練習はあんまりしてないかな。
はい。じゃあ一体何してるにゃ？
合コンとか。
Their shouts filled the whole street, and once again, people turned around to stare.
そんなに驚くことないだろう。俺だって普通の大学生なんだから。
そうですよね。
You could put quotations around normal.
でも、
Luca was fidgeting like he wanted to say something.
フェイリスというものがありながら、他の女の子たちと楽しく合コン。許せないにゃ。
勘違いするなよ。俺は女の子なんか別に。
In fact, I went along with the rest of the club, but there really wasn't any place for a wannabe normal like myself. There was no way I could keep up with the conversations that the, well, normal normals had. While the other men and women were having fun, I would just kind of sit there. Matchmaking party was a challenge far beyond my capabilities. I wasn't gonna tell Ferris and Luca that though.
いいなあ。マユシーもオカリンと合コンしたいのです。
何？
Mayuri wanted to do what? Is she old enough to be interested in that sort of thing?
みんなで楽しくパーティーするんでしょ？
Evidently not.
間違ってはいないけど、なんだか微妙にニュアンスが違う気がするにゃ。場所はラボでいいかな。ルカ君とフェリスちゃんはもちろん参加ね。あとダル君やナエちゃんやスズさんも。
Mayuri turned to me with a guilty look. Suzu, huh? Suzuha Amane, also known as John Teeter. Still fucking dumb. A time traveler from the year 2036. A true warrior who was still fighting even as I was trying my best to give up. I'd barely seen her since summer. I was avoiding her. Part of the reason I stopped going to the lab was that she spent all her time there now. Until a month or so ago, just hearing Suzuha's name was enough to cause flashbacks, and it was all I could do to endure them. After 3 months, I could finally stand to hear her name. But I didn't think I could keep it together if I met her in person. Of course, it wasn't her fault, and I wasn't blaming her, even though we just talked to her on the phone. So I didn't want to blame me, or I didn't want her to blame me. She'd never come out and said it, but when she looked at me with that razor-sharp glint in her eyes, I felt something like guilt.
と一緒に考えてるオペレーションがあるんだ。オペレーション
Sound like something the old me would have done.
っていうと、どんな作戦かにゃ？すずさんを笑顔にしよう大作戦。
え？
Why was Mayuri talking about this out of the blue? No, maybe it wasn't out of the blue. She might have been thinking about it for a long time. So I decided to respond as cheerfully as I could.
聞かせてくれよ、まゆり。
まゆしーは思うんだ。すずさんって普段は怖いけど本当はすっごく優しい人なんじゃないかなって。ラボにいる時にね、まゆしーがソファーでうとうとしちゃうといつの間にかタオルケットがかかってたりするの。すずさんに聞いてもそんなの知らないとしか言わないんだけど。あ、僕もそういうことありました。以前お父さんに買い物を頼まれて、その帰りに荷物が重くて困っていたんです。そうしたら天音さんが通りかかって何も言わずに持ってくださったんですよ。
へえ、初耳だな。
こんなこと当たり前だから誰にも言うなって。あ、言っちゃいましたけど。
Whoops.
そっか。
We're riding bikes! In the Alpha World line, she was a cheerful girl who smiled at everyone and who loved to go mountain biking. But in this world line, she wasn't the type who smiled a lot. This was partially due to the way she'd grown up. I'd heard about it third hand from Daru, but because of the universal conscription program that started after World War III broke out, she'd been forced to undergo military training ever since she was in middle school. And after that, she'd joined up with the anti-government forces and gotten caught in a terrible struggle. After that, he said, she'd never really smiled.
だからね、すずさんを本当の笑顔にしたいのです。
なるほどな。
で、具体的には何をするのかにゃ？クリスマスパーティーだよ。クリスマスパーティー？
We all spoke in unison.
もうすぐクリスマスでしょ。すずさんね、そういうパーティーをやったことがないんだって。だからまゆしーはすずさんにそれをプレゼントしようと思ってるんだ。
Steins Gate Zero a Christmas game? Because it might just be. Ferris and Luca nodded at almost the exact same time.
その話乗ったにゃ。僕も。ありがとう。オカリンも参加してくれる？
そうだな。
ダメかな。
俺はともかく鈴葉が嫌がるんじゃないか。
I was never going back to the past. I still couldn't forget the look on Suzuha's face when I told her that.